severe leak detected on closing wheel group 2. Okay, and it's active. For f***'s sake! You would think this thing was a strip tiller. Holy shit. There's our compressor up here. There are no leaks going on here, and we got pressure. How much you want to bet it's just a sensor? I don't know why that one chatters like that. Surprised there isn't a sensor to tell me that row's chattering. There it is. See that? That's our air going down to our closing wheel. You can see it's gotten pinched here when it gets folded up. It gets pinched against the frame a little bit. It just plugs back in. But I'm gonna put an eyeball to all the rest of them and make sure they look okay. And thank goodness this planter's equipped with all kinds of sensors so that it told me that that was unhooked. We got plant. Come on, hang in there. Don't tell me anything's bad, please. I wonder if this 10-mile-an-hour planter would do decent at 20 miles per hour. I got another 1.5 acres or so planted. Now I got so many codes being flashed at me, I can't even push a button because they just keep flashing. I don't even know what's going wrong. By the time I try to read one, the rest of them are all flashing at me. I can't. Why don't we try turning everything off and turning it back on again? The neighbors are over there planting with a red tractor and a red planter. I haven't seen him stop one time since I've been here. He's got a lot done. Just saying. Let's try this again, because it did let me fill the brushes, which... Come on, tractor. Drive. Now what's going on? My tractor doesn't move. How much you suppose the neighbor needs for that one over there? There! Hey! Just had to unplug the transmission, plug it back in again. Oh my gosh, we're moving again. For the time being, for the moment. Looks like we got a little storm damage in this field. See if I can get that at least halfway drug off. I'm gonna need both hands for that thing. Yeah, nope, I give up. You can just kind of lay there, hang out, I'll be fine. Trust me, all the internet tough guys out there who think I'm such a wimp because I can't move that, you wouldn't move it either. Go ahead, 7.
Yeah, Zach, you gonna start on the north side or south side?
Oh, I'm going around the whole 2 pieces right now. I'll probably do that a couple times, and then I'll probably start on the north side just because that's where I'll end up after the end rows. They've got to build these planters to go 10 miles an hour because you spend half your time working on sensors.
Probably need to go 15 miles an hour to make up for the time you lose.
Hey, look, a new sensor issue. We're just gonna, nope, we're gonna just shut it off. This is insane. So now row 4 doesn't have any downforce because I'm assuming either the pressure sensor or the downforce sensor is bad. The wiring harnesses, it's all been looked at. It's all been looked at many times. I don't know what, anybody want to buy a planter, trade a planter? All offers welcome. I still use a marker because I don't trust technology all the time. I finally made it all the way around the field. It took me a while, but we're cruising along. Actually, now I'm going quick, but once around the field was 23 acres. So there's a lot of end rows in this field. It's about 200 acres, but it's gonna be 45 acres, 46 acres of end rows. It's crazy when you put that into perspective. And I still have 1 row planting without downforce that's flashing at me a lot of the time. Well, now it's back. It's just one of, like, it comes and goes as it pleases. But I'm not gonna bother with it. I planted the whole last field pretty much. Oh, there's a different one. Now we're row 14. Row 4 is now working, but 14 is math. Now 14 has 0 downforce. Not complaining. People are gonna call me a whiny millennial. I'm just walking you through the process of trying to plant corn here. I'm not crying about it. Now things are cooking. The planter's maintaining an average of probably 99 to 99.2% singulation. It fluctuates a little bit up and down, but I've got really big seed in one side of the planter, which is a little tougher. I can see there's more doubles on that. I've played with the vacuum. I've got it about as good as I can, but there's only so much I can really do. But it's doing a good job at 9 miles an hour. Now I'm kind of limited by the horsepower on the tractor. Honestly, in some of these, I mean, they're not big hills, but it is a little bit hilly here, and this tractor's, it's struggling to try to pull something at 10 miles an hour. All right, I got 56 acres in so far. Things are going pretty decent now, other than the downforce sensors I've just been having to ignore, but I'm gonna kind of climb out and just check, make sure the seed depth looks good, the closing wheels are good, the downforce is good. It's just good to put eyes on things. I would say everything looks close enough. Time to keep boogieing.
Have you seen it? I've been over the whole thing pretty much now. Do you have any that I gotta get?
No, I really haven't seen much for big rocks that you would have to run back to as far as what I've done over. There's my sensor guy up there. Local dealer sent a guy out. He's got, I think, 4 sensors with him, which is good because I got 2 or 3 of them still giving me fits here. So we're gonna swap those out, and more than likely won't fix anything, but we'll try. It'll just move to different rows is my hunch. It's usually wet in there after we get some rain, but honestly I don't know that I've ever not gone through it, not farmed through it. Okay, we replaced one sensor, unplugged and kind of reset another one, and calibrated the whole thing. So we're gonna see if this works. I'm gonna make a round. Ron's gonna sit there, see what happens. Luckily, I've got a mud spot to compete with right away. I think I'll go straight across that and leave it squared up. That's what I'm gonna do. And just a reminder, there's 2 drain tile flags right there. This is tiled out. It's just that wet. Gauge wheels, 100%. Look at all that. 180 pounds, ground contact, 100%. I'm gonna kick it into hyper mode here. See if we can get to 10 miles per hour. I need a 400 horsepower tractor to really pull this thing at 10, unless I'm going downhill. All in the mail. And we're doing it, I think, did I bump a button? Does it look better or worse this way? What do I do? Anyway, we're doing it with no sensors going off at the moment. I have now made a full round with 0 downforce sensors going off.
What are we looking like now?
None of them went off at all. They all showed good. Well, you want to stand there the rest of the day to make sure they keep running right?
Put a chair back there.
There we go. We can put a... I'm up to 167 acres planted. But I got one that's got something stuck in it. I'm plowing a pretty good trench. I lifted up and thought it fell out of there, but something's in there. Sometimes you run into like an antique little special gift. Oh, no, this isn't an antique gift. It's a rock. I mean, I guess it probably is an antique rock. One little rock in the wrong spot. I guess it might as well hit the bathroom. Anyone in there? These RTs have the perfect spot for that back there, especially when they're wide set on narrower belts. I hate these spots, especially on corn. When it's soybeans, you go straight around it, but with corn, you really try to square things off. It makes things so much nicer at harvest. So, but I don't want to drag everything straight through. I don't want to drag everything straight through and get a bunch of mud on the wing wheels and the sides of the planter there that packs up into the row units. So I shimmy around and I back up like this, and then I proceed forward again. And then I drop the planter once I'm back out of the wet spot. That way the rows stay square. It's much nicer for the sprayer and particularly for the harvesting machine, or a combine if you're into that fancy talk. Final few rows here. We're just going to ignore this streak right here where I didn't notice the rock stuck in the row unit. We just won't talk about that. So it is 192.3. It's going to be 194 or 5 acres total here. Then I will fold up, head north, back towards home, get pretty close to home. I'm gonna need seed though real soon. Here's the field approach that was underwater just a few days ago in one of my recent videos. Kind of gives you a little bit of a perspective on how fast things can change here. This is the field we strip tilled last fall. Overall it looked pretty good, but it seems like our soil's gotten so hard and crusted on the top that we just decided to dig the whole thing. Then we don't have to go out and hit it with a herbicide treatment right away. It's going to be on the same level as all the other fields that we're running tillage on. And there was a few spots, not a lot, but a few spots where it had washed out in the strips. And so we're trying to level that, close those again. But I would say 90% of it actually looked pretty good. If we weren't so late and the soil wasn't so crusted, I think we would try to plant right into it. We'd just maybe turn up the row cleaners a little bit, get them a little bit more aggressive, but it's gonna be all right. It's gonna look good.
Hi there, see? The east side along the ditch,
Yeah.
I think I would wait with that for an hour or two, let it dry a couple hours more maybe if you can.
I'm out of seed on one side of the planter now, which I knew was gonna happen. Because one box of seed only had 40 units in it compared to 50 because it was such a big seed. So I'm just gonna actually literally scoop with a bucket from one side to another to even them out as best as I can until that goes empty. Back at it. See that? Yeah, that's a problem. That's actually a relatively significant problem, and I think I found it right away. I think it happened when I backed around this corner. Yep. I'm gonna grab some wrenches and rags. My hands are gonna get dirty, so you guys are just gonna have to deal with not seeing this. Holy cow. Maybe my hands will stay clean. Is it just loose? How does that happen? That did it. That was a lot easier and a lot cleaner than I expected. I hope it holds. I think we got lucky there. I don't know, that was weird, but I'll take that, I guess. Easy fix. We're still moving. Check out that singulation at that speed. I love it! For those unaware, that means we're doing a good job of planting at a very efficient pace. There we go, I'm out of seed. We got another 27 acres down. So I'm gonna head home, right up the road here, 3/4 of a mile, and fill up again. Look at Jim go. He's gonna have this all ready for me. I'm gonna knock this all out tomorrow. This is 230 acres. I'm gonna get all that knocked out, and then some. And then according to my Weather Channel app on my phone, it's gonna rain again, which will be nice. We could really use the moisture. I go.
After training, and I do it at 189 degrees, and I do it for 25 minutes. It's hard. We're putting one of those in because of you.
Sure is easy and relaxing to knock out acres when you don't have a bunch of sensors going off. Things have been working pretty dang good lately. I mean, I don't think I've taken a clip for 2 hours. Well, maybe close. Well, that's it. I got about 320 or so acres in today, and I'm just at that point where the next field, it's starting to get dark. The next field just got finished being tilled. It's a little after 9 o'clock at night, and so I'm gonna go home. All right, we'll see you in the morning.
Yep, talk to you in the morning.
What a mess. We did make a bunch of progress on it over the weekend, but what a mess. I'm gonna throw diesel in so that it's done, because then it makes a faster morning, and I want to pound some acres in tomorrow. Back over this way to our temporary 200-foot extension cord. We do have some plans started for the shed back here. It sounds like what we're leaning towards right now. So this was a 60 by 120. We are leaning towards a 72 by 180. So we're gonna almost double the square footage, just do it all in one building. So then we'll have to rework our fueling area here, which will be nicer if we rework it anyway. We are gonna have to take some trees out back there, but that's okay. We're gonna get a bigger shed. Now we actually haven't had an insurance adjuster out here yet, so we don't know for sure, but it sounds like insurance is gonna treat us probably the way they're supposed to on this. They have in the past, so I have no reason to believe that they wouldn't. So, you know, we'll take that money and we will rebuild and then some, because we could use the extra space anyway. So we'll end up with a nice building here. It's just a lot of work, big pain in the neck. You can see there's still one big part of the wall. Most of the building is still back there right now. It hasn't been picked up. The 9870 here, we need Deere, the local dealer, to come out and take a peek at it, because something's up with it. It gives us a lot of warnings when we try to start it up and move it. Other than that, the 6175 and the 8295 are getting new roofs and cab liners put in them, hopefully this week down at the dealer. So we should have those back before long. The headers still need to be looked at. Obviously we're not in a hurry for those, so we looked at everything else first. But the seed tender's got a little damage. The dually definitely's got some damage. The Moline's got some new scars on it. We've got the planter fixed. It's actually the same tank on there. They were able to pop that back out and put a new lid on there, a new lid and a new ring. So that's all good. But the building is mostly, well, it's not gone. It's some back there and then some on the other side of the trees and then some up by the highway. It'll be nice when it's done. On the grain bin's still laying back there too. Was that this video that I pointed that out? Probably. I lose track of my days. Those Dakota micro egg cams work even pretty well at night. Makes me feel better knowing there's not a kid back there on a bicycle or something. And that way I don't back into this shed. Good one. A little evening government juice. Never shake it more than twice. I know I've been talking an awful lot today, so I apologize for that, but before I go here, I'd like to remind you guys of two things. Number one, there's a GoFundMe link down below in the description. We are raising money once again, just a reminder, for grain bin safety and rescue equipment and training. All that money, 100% of that money, is going to be donated to local volunteer fire departments and first responder crews. I think I got to move over a bit here. On top of that GoFundMe, we are actually having a country music concert here in Alexandria, Minnesota. We're We're gonna have Eddie Montgomery and Confederate Railroad and a couple other bands there. That is July 1st. It is all free will donation. Once again, 100% of that is going towards that same grain bin safety rescue equipment and training. So there is a link down below. Otherwise, please come to that concert. Show up to that concert. July 1st, Alexandria, Minnesota. The concert is called the Anderson Bash. It's put on by some good friends of ours. Becky and I are going to be there for sure. And hopefully you guys are there. We will meet you there. Okay, that's what I got for the day. So thanks for watching. Toodles.